Hi. Hello. Hello, no one. I am coming on live very spontaneously as I haven't been live on here since I very first started this channel, beginning of the year, and I came on live when I had like about 10 followers, and I haven't been on live since. It felt much easier to go live when I didn't have anyone following, and then now it's really amazing. It's kind of grown, and so I'm very spontaneously just jumping on to say hi, to do a free kind of collective read, and then hi Christiana, Christiana, um, yeah, and to do a collective read and to do any like mini private reads as well, which you can book using the super chat. So $4 44, or just like a donation. Like really, like I'm just happy with any donation because I just want to, um, yeah, connect with people. So uh, here I am. So share with me if you're watching. Then you can share anything that's going on for you, or what you want to chat about, or introduce yourself. Otherwise, hello Portugal. Wow, nice. What's the weather like? It's really, really rainy right here in the UK. It's like been raining for about a month, and we're all pretty soggy and wet, but it makes it nice and cozy for readings. Yeah, cloudy. Hope the sun comes out. I've had this experience, with friends on like workshops and retreats and things where we've focused our energy, gone into like deep meditation or focused our energy on the clouds, and been able to like shift and clear the clouds. So actually like change the weather. Like we don't really realize how powerful we are, but we can actually shift the weather with like really strong focus. Some people have that skill more than others, but it's quite cool if you can do that. So, any weather changes out there? I'm going to start with a collective reading straight off. I'm going to see what is coming up for people who are tuning in, and see, yeah, what I can do for you. So you can share as I go. What's the main process or situation? Anyone watching right now, what's the main process or situation that's going on? We've got sacred play. Sacred play, guys. I love it. Amazing. Playful. Are you feeling playful? Are you feeling, or maybe you're feeling really not playful, and actually, this is what you need. This might be your medicine right now, is how to bring more play into your life. And this makes sense because right now there's some like heavy, really heavy, heavy stuff going on. Astrologically, there's huge cycles shifting. It's all Mercury retrograde coming up and all that kind of stuff, and it's deep and it's dark. Yeah, huge transitions, exactly. So it's a time to in order to allow the transition, it's like we need to lighten up and let things come through in a lighter way. It's this surrender. I feel like right now it's like we're being guided very, very strongly, especially, like in the northern hemisphere, we're coming up towards Halloween, right? We're coming up towards the darkest nights. So the veil is really thin and spirit can speak to us really strongly. So we're really open to messages that can come through and guidance that can come through. So spirit right now is just like, listen to me. Like there's these huge things that it wants to bring through and shift for us. And so to allow that to happen, we need to relax, and we need to let go, and we need to surrender and go with the flow. So that's really coming up for people. So play. What kind of transitions are going on? And then how can we bring in more play? Let's have a look. What's going on? 6 of Pentacles. So this is to do with practical circumstances in your life, balance in your life. So this is like an even flow of give and take, receiving and giving, and allowing that to manifest in your reality. And there's this principle, okay, that keeps coming into my mind recently. I'm going to share it. It's this idea of the difference between equality and fairness. So often we say we want things to be equal. Everyone should be equal. We have equal rights, that kind of thing. in some circumstances that's really relevant. Equal rights is really important. But in other circumstances, actually what we need is fairness. And fairness is where you allow for difference between people. So for example, say you're cooking like a big meal, and you've got like 10 people at the meal, and you have a grown man and you have a small child. Being equal would mean that you would give both those people the same amount to eat. Like the child and the grown man would have the same size portion. Whereas fairness would be, well, the child doesn't need so much, and the man needs more food. So fairness is about allocating things. So it's about creating priorities and where we allocate our resources. Okay, resources is a huge, huge theme at the moment as well. How do we manage our resources? Resources are our money, but also our time, our attention, our emotion. All these different things are our resources, everything we have available to us. And when we start to manage our resources really well, then we create a flow, a really good flow in our life. So if you find that you are constantly putting out, this is something I have done a lot in the past, especially emotionally, like giving out of myself emotionally a lot, then you get drained very quickly. And so it's reflecting back on how you manage all the resources in your life. So yes, your emotions, but also your hi Marcia, and yeah, Christiania, makes sense. Yeah. How you manage this, all your resources in your life. So they all reflect on one another. So if emotionally you're drained, or financially you're drained, or you don't have enough time, whatever it is, it's somewhere in your life it's out of balance in terms of your practical energy and resources. So there's a really important principle, which is where your mind goes, your energy flows. Okay, so wherever you focus your attention, that's where all your energy goes. That's where you're literally investing. Okay, investing your so energy is then your money, your time, everything, right? So if you're focusing on other people, outside situations, your worries, your uncertainties, then you're putting energy into those things. If you're always thinking about someone else, you're putting all your energy into them or into that situation. And so that's when you have to bring your focus back to yourself, right? You bring your resources back to you to come into balance. This is why we do things like meditation, and the present, being in the moment, that kind of stuff is so that we focus back and bring our energy back into ourselves. Okay, that makes sense? If you have any questions about that, then yeah, drop it in. Let's see, anything else coming up as a collective message right now? 10 of Swords, okay? Anyone feel like they're dying out there? Anyone feel like this is it? Like I have to just die? Because that's what's being requested. I did a reading this morning, and this 10 of Swords card came out so much. So it's interesting, it's coming up again now. This is ego death. This is surrendering who you are, who you think you are, what you think you know, and letting go of everything and allowing yourself to completely surrender to the what life is bringing to you. And that's kind of also how we come into being really present, is when you allow yourself to stop thinking. This is stopping thinking so much about your circumstance and just be present with it and allow yourself to really feel, okay, what is this situation bringing up for me? What is it showing me? And when you sit with it and accept what is coming up and allow yourself to be immersed in that experience, then you can surrender parts of yourself that were maybe um, like holding on to something else before. Does that make sense? So, ego death is letting go of your identity. So, we attach ourselves to our name, our title, our country, our job, our partner, our children, our roles, all that kind of stuff. That's how we create attachments in life. That's how we create a sense of self and often a sense of security. And so in order to break those, we have to let go of the idea of that's who or what we are. Right, yeah, totally, but it's a process. Do you, Christiana, do you want to share any more, like what process you're going through? You can share if you feel comfortable, you can share a bit more about um your what's going on for you, and then I can be more specific about yeah, anyone else wants to share about what process they're going through that especially that relates to having to surrender situations where you're needing to let go of yourself, your fears. Um, this card, I mean, it looks pretty gruesome, right? Um, but it's about this the 10, right? The 10 is the completion of a cycle, and the swords. It's all about the mental energy. It's all about the air, the mind, the understanding, information, and the minor arcana. You know, from the process from 1 to 10, goes from a beginning initial understanding to number 10, which is completion. I mean, actually for me, 9 is completion, number 9 is spiritual completion, and then number 10 is where you actually evolve into a next stage, where you evolve into the next um, evolution of the cycle, right? So you can start again. So this is why 10 is the death. So some of you watching may be like being asked to really go into that. What's Christiana saying? Christiana. Family dependency, not being myself for ages. Right. Yeah. So not being yourself around your family. Yeah. I mean, this is a really tricky one, right? Because when we go into a family setting, it's like we are drawn back into who or what we were when we were younger or when we last saw our family or their preconceptions of who or what we are. So it's interesting because ancestry has been a really big topic for me recently, and needing to let go of ancestral patterns, ancestral habits, like what is coming through largely at the moment. These huge karmic cycles are closing out, which are letting go of who our family has taught us to be, you know, what's been passed on. So for example, there's a lot of history of women feeling suppressed, not being able to express themselves within my family, and so part of um, my learning and my process in this life is about stepping into being able to stand up for who I am and express who I am. Social anxiety, so being around people, so feeling like you're judged around people. Hi, Andrew. I'll read that in a little bit. Christiana, yeah. So just being very conscious of other people around you. So is this like you feel like you're being dependent on what other people perceive you to be? Something like that. Because you know, we can't, like, we'd love to change, right, what other people think of us, but actually we can't influence them, and it's not worth the time trying to persuade other people who or what we are. We're better off just doing it. I know it's easier said than done, right? But let me see, I'll pick a couple of cards, Christiana, for you. Death card, rebirth. Okay, so what I'm feeling for you, Christiana, is it's this time to be reborn. So it's this time to allow yourself to be who you are, like be who you want to be around people, like to really surrender this idea of needing to please people, needing to show up for other people, needing to um, fill a role. Yeah, learning who you are, exactly. So as you learn who you are, you're naturally going through this transition, this change. And so people are going to react to that around you, even if they don't know what they're reacting to, because they will sense a difference in you. And it can be like that's when you can get lots of triggers, right? Because they might be talking to an old version of you and you're not that person anymore. And it's really interesting if you can give yourself like time and space to kind of step back from what um what's being said or what's happening around you, and if while you're in that situation you can observe it, then you start to see um actually what they're observing or what they're saying or what they might be bringing up around you is just reflections of themselves. So what people comment about you or express about you is a reflection of who they are, right? And it's not actually anything to do with you. Sometimes what they're saying can be like a trigger, right? It can be some some message for you, but it's like it's not actually taking that in, not absorbing that information from them, and being able to just um, observe that reflection, and then identifying, yeah, that is true, or no, that isn't true, and having the confidence to actually say, no, what you're saying is a load of rubbish, actually, I'm nothing like that, or that's not how I feel. And then around different people you'll find different triggers, right? Um so you may feel like everyone is tricky to be around. But again, once you kind of can take a step back from that, so I feel like breathing be really important for you, like to really focus on your breath work, like really deeply breathing, relaxing your breath is going to help you stay more centered. And then when you're around different people and you're able to be in that centered place, you'll get a sense of what's actually going on internally, what's being triggered within you. Yeah, you resonate with that. Cool. Okay, so we've got Soulmates card, just came out, Two of Cups. So, yeah, this is a time, right? There's a time right now for connections. Connections are being made, and soulmates, um, divine partnerships are coming into the collective right now. So, okay, I'm coming back, being drawn back to the play. This is where play comes in. So I feel like it's really good for people right now to connect, right? To connect with others and to allow for connection to be on a light level, like not to be too serious, not to be too intense, because when the idea of like divine connections or soulmates, or we've had like all these past lives together, it can feel really heavy, and you can actually really like put a lot of weight in a situation. And so I feel like the play is really important in terms of when you're interacting and connecting with other people, is to allow yourself to um this is where you can like shake off like who you think you are or who you thought you were, and allow yourself to say things you wouldn't say, do things you wouldn't do, allow yourself to be guided by the situations you come up with, and um being able to know that it's just the moment that you're in right now. Okay, that there's just like one this is like one moment. I don't know what's going to happen in the next moment or after that, and I know that's happened before, but right now I'm just here. So how can I play with this? How can I just allow myself to experience connection with other people? How can I just express myself? And it's really beautiful actually at the moment. I'm noticing with friends around me, or people I do readings for. They they're like really just expressing themselves very openly, and it's being heard. Like people are really being heard and being reciprocated. It's like there's a real space at the moment for this opening of deeper connection. And it's like there is this element of, it's like we've been through or going through such like challenging and difficult times that so many people are waking up and changing and shifting their perspective, that there's this bigger capacity to listen and to understand and to shift things. So anyone who's come on now, if you want to book a mini read right now, you can do that. It's $4.44 on the super chat, or just say hi, or if there's anything you want to just discuss generally, you can drop that in the comments as well. Okay. So if you have anything you're noticing coming up in relationships or things, it's interesting for people to share what's going on, because we can see if there's patterns and address that. Let me see what wants to come out for us generally. Okay, 3 cards came out. The Empress, the Four of Swords, and the High Priestess. Okay. This is, right, everyone who's watching right now, you need to meditate, okay? If you don't already, you need to really focus on allowing yourself to receive information from spirit. As I was saying earlier on, I'm not sure if you're new people or the same people, but I was saying earlier on, the veils are thinning, right? Right now, it's build up to Samhain, Halloween. It's like the darker nights in the Northern Hemisphere anyway. You can latch onto that energy from anywhere, right? It's like a just one earth energy point. So right now is a really good time to connect with spirit. Okay. I'm even finding in the readings I'm doing, I'm getting a lot of messages before the cards even come out. There's a lot of um just for me, it's like vision and images that want to come through. And I feel this with the High Priestess. This is like receiving, okay? This is before anything happens. It's right at the beginning of the major arcana. Actually, 2 and 3. We've actually got 2, 3, 4 here. A nice little run of numbers. So 2, about this receiving, gaining information, wisdom, understanding. 3, this is nurturing, nourishing. 4 and 4, this is also about healing, listening, meditating, taking time out. So it's really, really important now for you guys watching to really allow yourself to be with your mind, right? To really watch what's going on in your mind and what, expressing through art. Yeah. So even channeling through art, okay? So in order to receive from spirit, you don't need to just sit there like a brick, right? You can dance, you can be cooking, you can be gardening, walking in nature. Like I love walking in nature, and I observe like the birds, like birds moving through, or something I notice on the ground. Like there's messages through everything, right? Um, and so you can channel in different ways. And yeah, drawing, writing, where you don't set any intention what you're going to write, what you're going to make, what you're going to do, and you just allow yourself just to move. And you may go through a process where, first of all, it's like a lot of crap needs to come out. Like you need to just vomit a load of like mess. Like that happens for me anyway. If I haven't, especially if I haven't done it for a while, then I need to just like get that stuff out. And then you can allow some things to come through and you can start going internally. I'm also feeling dreams. Dreams are really important right now. So paying attention to your dream. So if you don't already, then please write down your dreams. If you don't have any, set the intention. I'm going to start recording my dreams. You keep a journal by your bed. When you wake up in the morning, don't move. Like stay exactly still and try and recall your dream. Try and stay with it. And what you do is you start with the last dream you had. So the last thing you remember, and you remember in as much detail as possible. And you go back, what happened before that? Back, what happened before that? Back, what happened before that? So you work backwards through your dreams to improve your dream recall. Okay? So recording your dreams, time with your thoughts, even journaling. This is all receptive energy. Okay? So for you guys watching, it's really important to all be in a really receptive state, receptive to spirit, receptive to all the information, ideas that are coming in, and processing and working with those. Okay. Andrew, very interesting about recording dreams. Must commit to it, otherwise they will get forgotten. Yeah, because like as soon like if I don't write them, literally as soon as I wake up, I will forget them. Occasionally not, but majority I do. But there's a huge amount of information in our dreams, and also creation. right? So we have different colors come up in our dreams, and different colors represent different types of dream. So if you have a dream that has a lot of red in it, it's a dream where you are creating. That's where you're manifesting a future. That's where you're manifesting what's going to happen next. And if you have a lot of white in your dream, that's a prophecy. That's about seeing what's going to happen in the future. And if you're dreaming and in your dream it's daytime, then that and it's a prophecy that's going to happen quite quickly. If it's a nighttime, then it can take quite a long time, months or even years to actually come around. So there is a huge amount of content in your dream. Hi, Linlin. Hello. Hi, nice to chat with you. So yeah, if you want a reading now, you can super chat. Otherwise, I'm going to pull a couple of cards and then I'm going to go. So just to finish off a kind of collective information reading, let's see what we've got. King of Pentacles. Okay. Master your life. This is about mastering your environment. The King of Pentacles is a very stable, sturdy, strong, grounded kind of person. So this may be you. This may be energy for you to embody, or this may be, actually, interestingly, because we've just been talking about receiving, this may be someone you encounter, or this may represent someone in your life already. May or may not be male, but that male kind of energy, like authoritative, leadership, assertive. And when you allow yourself to be in this receptive state, so receptive to nature, receptive to your dreams, receptive to your inspiration, then you allow things to come into your life. So then you can bring in these offers, these gifts. This can be from the universe, right? The King of Pentacles can be from like God, spirit, your ancestors, whatever it is. But it's allowing this in. For some of you, this is about when you allow yourself to really hear and understand. Hi, Angel. Love to you too. And when you allow yourself to really hear and understand what is coming through, then you can make decisions from this standpoint, from this place of deep practicality, from really knowing how to work with your material world. But first of all, you have to work with the non-physical, with the non-material. When you learn to work with the energy world, with the hidden, the unseen, then you can apply that knowing and that understanding to your practical life. And then you become a master of your environment, because the King of Pentacles is a master of his world, his physical, practical, or her physical, practical world, right? Because everybody has the male and female aspect, right? We know that. Everyone has a feminine part of them and a masculine part of them. So this is like working with the two of them. When you allow yourself the feminine state of receptivity, then you empower the masculine state of activity. Okay, so, and that comes back to earlier on, I was talking about balance, right? The Six of Pentacles came up earlier, which is about the balance of resources and flow. So I feel like that's kind of pulling that into full circle, right? Andrew, in Twin Flame Dynamics, a lot of focus on the divine masculine having to accept the spiritual. On the DF side, though, maybe while the DMs is running, the DF must focus on the material world. Yeah, I've seen that recently too. So it's like this flip where now the divine feminine is focusing on the material world and the divine masculine is on the emotional, spiritual side. Yeah, that's like coming up. Yeah, in generally in the kind of divine connections, right? That kind of thing. But actually, this is just the internal processes we're going through. So it's about this internal balance. And they're really just energies, right? They're just, it's important to move away, I feel, from the kind of divine feminine, masculine kind of man woman standpoint, because actually we're both working we're all working with both those energies and those dynamics. So um yeah, it may be like for just whichever side you're stronger on, it's like the other side needs to be brought into balance. For me, it's yeah, I definitely need to focus on my material world. That's like that's absolutely what I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up now. Thank you so much for everyone who has dropped in. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I look forward to chatting to you again another time. Thanks, everybody. Bye. Yeah, all working on everyone's working on balance. Always. It's life. Yeah, but it's really, really important that internal and balance of resources. Yeah. Oh, Christiana, thank you so much. Okay. Question: Shamanism. Should I pursue power animals and guides? Is that a course or just the study, general study? Okay. All right, Christiana. Got the Fool and the Eight of Swords. I want you to like ask yourself with this kind of study where where that the need to study or pursue this is coming from, okay? Because with this combination of cards, it feels like you're maybe just like I'm just going to try that. I'm just going to like jump for that study or course. Yeah. I feel like spirit wants you to really ground your ideas about what you want to how to invest this in terms of okay, yeah, your resources, like your time, because you may have a lot going on already, like you're already doing a lot of things, or you're already studying a lot of things. I mean, are you the kind of person who tends to uh start one thing and then stop and then try another thing and then stop? Because this feels like it's kind of just a jump, like a kind of like um a risk with the Fool. It's like, I'll take this, I'm going to just try this opportunity or try this out. But actually, where you're operating from is not necessarily a kind of wise choice, but actually a place of, I need to do something, or I'm worried about how I'm going to. mm, like who I am. Like, so okay, coming back to who I am, like this spirituality, this what I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing. It's like you've got some anxieties, and spirit really wants you to go inside and think quite deeply about this. Yeah, okay, saw a video yesterday. Yeah, so I think it's like really sit with this idea because it's interesting, right? Also interesting that it comes up um now because I feel like it's maybe a distraction rather than you actually really focusing where you need to focus. Because um, I feel like there's worries and uncertainties, and you, it's like you might be kind of trying to grasp onto something to kind of feel secure, but it's I would think before taking a risk, think before jumping into something, because it feels like it may be just a bit much with the 10 of wands. 10 of wands is about like a burden. So I feel like you already have lots of things going on, or you already have lots of skills. And yeah, this may be something that is more just to dip into at the moment, but something you can consider for the future. Let me get a couple more cards. Yeah. Ace of Swords and the Strength card. I feel like, yeah, you need to move. You need to move from this state of Eight of Swords into the Ace of Swords, right? So from having all these different um, ideas or thoughts or uh, potential paths, it's like, oh, I could do this, I could do that, da 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 da. Cool, makes sense. To really focus on one truth, on one idea, one perception, and then streamline your energy, focus your energy into that one place. And in order to do that, so we've got the strength card for you. So in order to do that, um, this is about something you're going to commit to. So you need to choose something to study or something to go into that you are going to be able to go the distance with it and really dedicate yourself. So it needs to be something that feels um, very deeply true and resonant to you. So, not saying that this study is not that, um, but it's like you need to have this knowing where you just know this is what you need to do. Okay? Does that make sense? If anyone else wants a reading, then you can drop in a donation now. Otherwise, I'm going to go off in a couple of minutes. So, for you, Christiana, do this like meditation I was talking about. Do this like take this time out to step away from the kind of external world and really come in. Yeah, still haven't found that knowing. Yeah. So I think it's coming into this place of knowing. I mean, that's like a journey in itself. You don't need a teacher or anyone else to specifically do that for you. You can find that just through your life experience. Um, of course, you need other people as well to help you, but you can come into that knowing from your when you develop confidence in your own voice, and it feels like, right, you're going through this transition right now, right? So allow yourself to go through this transition, allow yourself to go through this time where things are shifting and changing within you. And when you come into a stronger place of like you've landed, it's like never going to be like a forever landed because that's not how life works, right? Um, but coming into a place where you feel like, uh, um, okay, I'm in like a strong enough, stable enough place now. What are my options? What am I interested in? What is my passion? What do I love? And um, and then you can come into that place and explore. There's lots of different ways to do it, right? Loads of different ways to connect with what you really want to do. Um, Combining what you love with your skill set, with something that is needed in our society, right? Combining these different things. And then, woohoo, Sam, hi. Yeah, combining those different things. And then that's your gift, right? Then you bring it to the world. In. If anyone else wants to get like a mini read right now, drop something in. Otherwise, I'm going to head off and speak to you all again soon. It's been really fun chatting with you all. I feel like I've covered about like 30 different topics in the last 40 minutes. Okay, cool. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I will do this again another time. Okay. Thank you, Christiana. Good luck with your journey and speak to you soon. And bye. Thank you.